Hey there! Video I made out of self-interest to a subject that nobody else has an interest to here with another video. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the gift that keeps on giving. In this case, Sylvia, my girl Sylvia, the silver fox, Sylvia Brown. Unfortunately, even after death, she can't let go. She's still in the news. She's still somebody that's just as relevant today as she was back in the day when she would rub Ben Gay all over her gross, decrepit, wrinkly body. Now, Sylvia Brown, for those of you guys that don't know, she is a famous psychic. She is no longer with us. Thank God she was taken by the sweet, sweet release of death. But she was a psychic that was popular in the 90s. She was popular in the 80s. She was also popular in the 2000s. And she was pretty much known for giving gross and terrible predictions to grieving families that would go and look for some sort of response from the other world as to what happened to their son or daughter. She was very grossly negligent when it came to giving out information. As a matter of fact, she told one family that the daughter was dead and killed by a black man, when it turns out that she was alive, healthy, and kidnapped by a white dude. So yeah, I know that's anecdotal to one particular incident, but it's still a track record that leads you to believe that she was a gross, negligent piece of shit. But luckily, she's dead. Now, here's the thing: even in death, she still comes to us, thanks to the adequate, intelligent, thick mind of one Kim Kardashian West here, who apparently tweeted this out on March 11th, that she tweeted out a particular passage from a book that Sylvia Brown wrote in 2008, where it said, around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness was spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself would be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived, attack again 10 years later, and then completely disappear. Now, one might read that and think, damn, my girl Sylvia, the silver fox, the hotness that is Sylvia Brown and her turkey pussy neck. There's one thing I don't understand, by the way, about old people. You get this neck that starts to look like a turkey because you have two skin flaps that just flap around in the wind, and it resembles somewhat of a gross roast beef like pussy. But that's beside the point. Here we're talking about Sylvia Brown making a little bit of a prediction here, and as you read that, you might think, damn, she nailed it on the head. Now, some people are bringing attention to a Dean Koontz novel from 1981 that actually predicted the outbreak of coronavirus a little bit more specifically. They say, and I quote, they call the stuff Wuhan 400 because it was developed at their rDNA labs outside the city of Wuhan, and it was 400th viable strain of man-made microorganism created at that research center. Wuhan 400 is the perfect weapon. Now, I think Dean Koontz considered himself anything of a psychic, but I think he would have had a good career had he done that with a little bit of an accurate prediction. We do have to debunk this. We do have to come in here with the long dick of the law and make sure that people have a rational understanding as to just who Sylvia Brown was and why it is that even a prediction like this is not necessarily accurate, even if you might look at it at first glance and say, no, it's 100% right. It's a disease from 2020. It's going to affect the lungs. There's a lot to break down here. So according to the Center for Inquiry that actually broke down the actual prediction itself, they went ahead and did a comprehensive look and breakdown as to everything that she said, as well as other predictions that she made in the same book itself that were just not true. Now, this is the thing when it comes to these psychics. What they'll do is that they'll cast a net. Like, imagine that you go to a bar, right? And you're going to ask every female there, hey man, what's up? Let me get those digits, girl. Let me get those digits. You might entice her with a card trick. You might make a little bit of a rose appear. You might go, yo, sup, girl? Let me get those digits. Now, odds are that you're going to get denied. As a matter of fact, you might actually have the cops called on you. You might have a whole movement made on you. But here's the thing. Eventually, due to the laws of probability and numbers, you will get that one girl. All right, that one girl that her breath smells like meat and potatoes, and she's going to grab your dick underneath the table at the bar, and you're going to take her home, and she's going to give you the best head you ever had in your life. But you're going to wake up the next day and realize, man, now I'm never going to scrub the smell of meat and or potatoes from my pinasia. So if you cast your net large enough, you're gonna get some fish, all right? You're gonna catch some fish, even if the other fish might just swim away. As far as her actual prediction, it turns out that she not only made it in 2008 in her book called End of Days, Predictions and Prophecies from Around the World, she also decided to make one in 2004 that switched it up a little bit. It says by 2020, we'll see more people than ever wearing surgical masks and rubber gloves in public, inspired by an outbreak of severe pneumonia-like illness that attacks both the lungs and the bronchial tubes and is ruthlessly resistant to treatment. This illness will be particularly baffling in that after causing a winter of absolute panic, it will seem to vanish completely until 10 years later, making both its source and its cure much more mysterious. First of all, and most importantly, let's just establish the baseline here that psychics don't fucking exist. There's never been any sort of credible evidence to support the notion that psychics exist. It does seem to be all anecdotal. It does seem based on the fallacy of memory. Every time you see a story or you hear somebody say something, it's always in regards to, oh, look, they told me this. And then when you see the actual video, ran down of what the psychic actually told them, it turns out that the person told them more information than they thought they did. Our memories are shit. We deserve coronavirus. Now, the Center for Inquiry does do a tremendous job breaking down what she said. Brown predicted a severe pneumonia-like illness, but COVID-19 is not a severe pneumonia-like illness, though sometimes it could actually lead to pneumonia. Most of these infected, about 80%, have mild symptoms and recover just fine, and the disease has a mortality rate between 2 and 4%. Brown claims it would spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and bronchial tubes. And COVID-19 has indeed spread throughout the globe. However, Brown says the disease she's describing resists all known treatments, and that does not describe COVID-19. In fact, doctors know how to treat the disease. It's essentially the same as influenza or other respiratory infections. This corona is not resisting all or any known treatment. She further describes the illness almost baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish as quickly as it arrived, and attack again 10 years later, and then disappear. COVID-19 has not suddenly vanished as quickly as it arrived. Even if it eventually does, its emergence pattern would have been compared with other typical data to know whether it's baffling. So that's a nice little breakdown in terms of logically approaching what it is that she said. Now, here's the part that I do enjoy when it comes to this particular aspect of psychics, which is, again, the aforementioned net that I mentioned before, and the other predictions that seem to go on the wayside, because if one hits, that's all you need as a psychic. All you need is one prediction, one golden shower, and that's all it takes for you to get fame. She made other predictions here where it says there will be a significant vaccine against HIV and AIDS in 2005. That's not true. The common cold will be over with about 2009 or 2010. That's not fucking true. By around 2010, law enforcement's use of psychics will come out of the closet and be a commonplace, widely accepted collaboration. Not true indeed. There won't be a successful manned exploration of Mars until around 2012. So if anything, I implore you to approach these sort of things with a modicum of skepticism, and to make sure that you're looking and thinking logically when it comes to stories like this that you might see on Twitter. You might see people of influence retweets and post them. People like Kim Kardashian, whose only asset is literally an asset. And you see this and you see the responses to this being, wow, this is surprising. Oh my God, man, this is scary. I can't believe she predicted it. Miss Brown never lies. So you do have a who's who and a cast of people that still believe in this shit. So approach it with some skepticism. Use your head for once, all right? Use your head for once. And please, let's just stop psychics in 2020. Let's just make that a thing. Vote for me for president, all right? This up and coming election, if you happen to be American, if you happen to be from another country, first of all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, but if you're American and enjoy the freedoms that partake in being an American, do me a favor and vote. Vote for your boy Pigcake as president for 2020, because with me in office, we're going to make sure that scum like this is put exactly where it belongs, which is corral them up and have them shot. Man, I can't wait to be president. I can't wait to be president. I'm gonna fuck everything up here. I'm gonna fuck all these dumbasses up. All these psychics, all these liars. Yo, they going down. You feel me? So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to do all the things that people do when it comes to videos. I'm gonna go figure out different ways why the baby is popular.